All right, this is chapter 10, prisms. We're going to deal with introduction with what kind of shape are called prisms and some terms and terminologies and definitions. Tomorrow we're going to dealing with how to solving surface area and volumes in actual numbers. So I will give you a shape and give you key information you are able to solving the prisms surface area and the bottoms. Okay. All right. So for today, we're going to learn a couple terms about prisms as a solid geometric figure, which means a 3D, has a two ends, faces. They are similar, equal, and parallel, just like I gave introduced a couple days ago. If you put your hands together, okay, the two end faces, it will be in between your hands. Then the sides are parallelogram. So look this example number one. That looked like a rectangle. The highlight area, you have a two end faces. Okay, the rectangle one is a little tricky because all six sides is rectangle. So when you look at it, the top and bottom will be our bases. Then you have four lateral sides. Just like you walk into a room, the floor will be our base, the ceiling will be our base, and the four sides walls will be our faces, lateral faces. Okay. Then when you have a triangle, okay, so that's easy to identify because your two end faces is a similar, which is a triangle, equal, which is congruent, and a parallel. Means if I put my hands together, I have the shape in between my hands. So my hands are parallel. If they crooked or tilted, so that's not parallel. So my two ends, my bases has to be parallel. Okay. And then the third example is a pentagon. So it's very easy to identify. We have a highlighted area is a pentagon, and the second one is a pentagon as well. So the lateral sides all parallelogram. Okay, so this is very easy to identify when you have a faces on each end. Its bases are the different shapes. When you have a rectangle, it is a little difficult. Just remember, think about walking into a room. You have floor and ceiling. Then four sides walls will be our lateral faces. Okay. All right. So let's see how many kind of prism we're gonna dealing with. When I say a red prism, just like you have a red triangle, that means you have a 90-degree. Okay. When we're talking about a red prism here, it's a lateral faces are perpendicular to the bases. Okay. Remember bases in between your hands. Okay. Your lateral faces are gonna be perpendicularly meet your bases. And the key factor there will be the rectangle. Okay. So if you see a red prism, that means perpendicular. That means all your lateral faces are rectangles. You can see I highlighted for you. It's easy to identify all your lateral faces. Okay. Then you have a slanted one we call oblique. That means your lateral face are not rectangle. Okay, are not perpendicular meet to your bases. Okay, that's a two factor, not perpendicular to the bases, and also they are parallelogram. Okay, so remember, key for red prism, your lateral faces are rectangle. They are 90-degree. Okay, oblique, that means you are slanted. They are not perpendicular. They are parallelogram. Okay, so that's a two different type, but we are going to focus on red prisms. Okay, we are not focused on the oblique or slanted. Okay, so let's dig into each detail with the terms on triangle prism. If I see that's a triangular, means your bases are triangle. Okay, you can very simple to identify this shape right here. You have a three lateral faces, they are rectangle, very easy to identify. When you have two bases of triangle, you're just looking for triangle. Either give you a word, you said that's a triangular triangle prism, or give you a word, you can looking for the shape. That is a triangle shape. So highlight it. That's your basis right here. Two bases for triangle. Okay. Then for rectangle, remember, just think about you walking into a room. It is a little tricky because rectangle is all six sides rectangle. Okay. So rectangular means you walk into a room, you look at ceiling, look at your floor, that's your basis. Okay. Four sides walls are your lateral faces. Okay. I highlighted for you. So that's how you looking at. Okay. Then pentagon, very simple to identify, just like a triangle. You're looking for pentagon. Okay, you have it right here, highlighted. So you got pentagon on the top, pentagon on the bottom. So your sides all rectangles. Okay, remember the three feature we have. One is a similar shape. You're looking for pentagon and the pentagon. You're looking for identify, which is congruent shape. So pentagon, same size, same measurement, same vertical angles. Okay. Then the third one will be parallel. They must be parallel. Okay. Must be parallel. Three key feature on locating the bases. Okay. All right. Let's dig into detail on rectangle prism. When I give you a hollow shape, when you look at it, this can be really confused. If you select the wrong one, you definitely will give me the wrong answer. So let's see. Bases is the top and bottom. I have two of them. Okay, top and the bottom, top and the bottom. Okay. Then sides, I have four sides, just like your walls. Okay, you got four sides walls, so you got lateral faces. They all parallel to each other. Okay. Then the rectangle prism, the bases will be the top and bottom, just like your floor and your ceilings. Okay. If you misunderstand this, just thinking about walking into a room. Okay. You're standing on your base, on your floor, look at your ceiling. That will be your two bases. Okay. Four sides walls are your lateral faces. All right. Okay. So let's see more details on parts about rectangular prism. You have altitude. Okay. So when we're dealing with a 2D shape, okay, you have a base and a height. Okay, base and a height. That is a 2D shape. Okay, when you look at a rectangle. But when we look at a 3D shape, okay, the altitude, how to define that? Okay, is that still base and a height? Okay. If you just keep thinking about the altitude is base is my height, is my height. Well, it's true, but you got to thinking about where is the context. Okay, altitude in a 3D shape. We talk about this altitude is joined between two bases perpendicularly. Okay, perpendicularly meet two bases. That's your altitude, which is right here. This is your altitude. This is your altitude. Okay, also your altitude. So you have four of them. Yes, that's true. You have four of them. Okay. So I highlight this one, just stay away from these two lines. So I highlight it. That's your altitude. All right. So what is your height? Why I don't put an A there? I put an H there. Okay. Because H is your height. Height is how long your altitude. Okay. The length of your altitude. Okay. So altitude is the distance between perpendicularly. Okay. Joined between your bases. Then height is the length. So if I give you a height, okay, what is the height of this rectangular prism? That's your altitude. Okay, in between two bases perpendicularly. All right. Now width is how wide it is, and length is how long. Okay, if you got a box, maybe a shoes, you can see how long is your shoes. Okay, if you wear size of 13, pretty much your shoes gonna be what 13 inches long. Okay, maybe relevant. Then how wide is depends on what kind of shoes. So the shoe box be long. How long is it? How wide is? How deep? How tall? And that's your altitude. Okay, so it's like a box. Think of that way. All right. So let's see more parts about the rectangle. We have a lateral faces, means except your bottom and top, you have four different sides. Okay, you got one, two in the back, three on the left and right. Okay, that's four sizes. Okay, all the four sizes are your lateral faces. Means you have two base and four lateral face. And also you do have a four lateral edge. Okay. Can you think of your four lateral edge, your altitude? Yes, you can. They all in between perpendicularly between your two bases. Okay. You can also thinking about four walls join. Two walls has a corner. That corner will be an altitude, will be a height, and also that same edge is your lateral face edge. Okay, so you can thinking about that two lateral face meet will creating a joint. That joint is your edge. Okay, so that's four edges there. All right. Okay, so now we jump into triangular, so triangle prism. Okay, if I gave you a triangle prism, in your mind, the first thing come to your mind is locating triangles. If you found out two triangles, that means those two are your bases. Okay, so how many triangle can you find on a triangular prism? Obviously two. One's on the top, one's on the bottom. Okay, so that's a two triangle in between your hands. You can touch it. Okay, all three sides gonna be a rectangle. Okay, like we said earlier, all red prism, all lateral face are rectangle. Okay, so that means my special size, which is the similar, congruent, and also parallel, the triangles will be my special shape to identify what kind of prism they are. So this one is a triangular, so triangle prism. All right. So base are my two triangles, and the altitude are the segment joined in between my two bases. Okay. Then how long is the altitude? That will be my height. That will be my height. Okay. The length of altitude is my height. Okay. Remember the key features? You got two bases with your triangles. Okay. Then all your side will be your lateral face, which is three of them because triangle has three sides. Okay. Those three lateral faces. Then you have a three lateral edge. Okay. All right. So if I give you a different orientation, means I switch this triangular prism into a different style. Okay, let's see. Can we follow the same principle as far as definitions? Okay, let's see. Obviously, it's a triangle. Okay, so I'm looking for triangles. All right, I got my two triangles. They are similar shape. Okay, they are congruent shape. I mean, all sides, all angles are congruent, and they are also parallel. Okay, parallel means not only can go vertically, also can horizontally parallel as well. Okay, just like my hands are pointing straight apart those two triangles. What I created is a triangular prism. All right, so my two ends still touch my hands. That is my basis. So got two triangle bases. Okay. Now the next thing will be altitude. Okay. Remember, altitude is the segment join two bases perpendicularly. Okay. As long as you meet that description, it doesn't matter how this shape stands. Okay. Yes, you misconception. Yeah, altitude is from sea level and straight up. See how tall it is, how long it is, how high it is. Okay, yes, that is true. But when we're talking dealing with a 3D shape, this altitude is in between the two bases. Okay, then my height. Yes, you think about height. If I ask you how tall are you, I mean how high are you? You say okay, I'm a 5'10". It's from my heel to my top of my head. Yes, but when we're dealing with this prisms, the height is how long the altitude. Okay, the altitude in between two bases. Okay, so don't give me the wrong one. Don't look over the triangle. This is a triangle base. Okay, that's how tall it is. Okay, remember the definition determine what are we looking for. Okay, the information is this piece right here. The edge in between two bases and perpendicularly meets. All right, precisely everything I say exact you're gonna looking for. It does not mean the shape stand differently will change the definition. Definition is always the same. Okay, we just need to using it differently. So we need to make sure we understand the concept. All right, so the next one will be a lateral faces. Remember, lateral face is always rectangle. Okay, if I give a triangle, triangular, you give me the lateral face is gonna be rectangle, so don't give me the wrong one. All right, and also the lateral edge is also the faces meet. Okay, so it means triangle you have three, or you can simply to looking for is triangle has a three angles, right? This is the vertical angles, vertex angles. So the vertex angle meet to another vertex angle on the basis. So you join them together. That will be our edge. Okay, that will be our edge. All right. Okay, so the next one will be a pentagon. So very simple identify. Okay, pentagon. I'm looking for what? My two pentagons. Okay, they are similar pentagon and pentagon. They are congruent, all sides, all vertex angle congruent, and they are parallel. Okay, remember three key features you have to know all three of them. If they are not parallel, if they tilted, that means that is not my prism I'm dealing with. Okay, they have to be parallel. All right. So now all my lateral faces are rectangles. Okay, couple things you need to straighten your mind when you look at the shape. Does that meet the description? Okay, so if I'm calling one of your names, I need to thinking about your face. Okay, is this the name linked to the face? If they are not, for example, if I have a student named David, okay, David's image in my head. When I see his face, I know that's David. Just like if I'm looking at a pentagon, I know what the pentagon looks like. So I'm looking for pentagon. Okay, pentagon prism, your base is a pentagon. Okay, so two of those, and the altitude is the length, the segment joined in between two bases, in between two pentagons. Okay, and then the height will be how long is your altitude. Okay, all right. So now we're dealing with lateral face. How many lateral face are we going to deal with a pentagon? Remember, pentagon has five sides. That means I have five rectangle. Okay, if I have five lateral faces, that means each lateral face join to each other, going to creating one of a lateral edge. Okay, so I got to have five edge. How do I know that? I have five sides. I also have five angles. Okay, vertex angles. So vertex angle to another vertex angle of the basis. That's gave me a lateral edge. So I got five of them. Okay, that'll be all. That's an introduction for the prisms. So tomorrow we're gonna learn how to solve the area, for example, pentagons, area top and bottom, and five sides of the rectangle, and also how big is inside as far as volume, how much can contain. Okay, one is square unit, the other one is cubic unit. All right, so that's all for today. Let me stop this recording.